Michael from QualityClassics.com. How is everyone? Did you know that when you see a 1967 Mustang with this engine designation, you've seen a ghost? Why do I say that? It's because they're like ghosts. You never see them. Most of the people that'll see this video will never in their entire life see a 1967 K-code Fastback. Or they might see a Shelby 67, which is a K-code car, because Shelby used the 67 K-code for his GT350 builds. But as far as the non-Shelby K-codes go, they're ridiculously rare. In fact, in the Fastback line K-code, 4-speed, 1967, they made 205. Let me tell you how small of a number that is. So in 1967, they made 472,000 Mustangs. 472,000 Mustangs built in 1967, and only 205 out of that 472,000 were non-Shelby K-code Fastback 4-speeds. So yes, you'll probably never ever see one. In all the years that I've been putzing with these cars, and you know I've been looking, I've seen 7. And in real life, and of those 7, I had 6 of them come through my hands. So they're ridiculously rare, super hard to find, and yeah, that's why I call them ghosts, or a lot of people would refer to them as unicorns. Now, of course, the K-code designation was for the 65, 6, and 7 Mustang. And they made, compared to 67, made quite a few 65 and 66s. In fact, the 65 and 66 combined are 20 times more common than this car right here, which means, in a simplistic way of viewing it, that you'd find 25 65, 66 K-codes before you found a 67 K-code. Okay, so I hope that helps you understand, because you know a 65 and 66 K-code is not that easy to find. The 67 is impossible. Super rare cars. So that's where supply and demand comes into a clear understanding. Think about it. The supply, 205, okay, and built almost 60 years ago. How many are left? They made 205, similar to this. And think about the demand. So really inherently they don't exist, they're not available, they're never on the marketplace, but thousands of people would love to have one. So that drives the price of a 67 K-code up substantially. I actually think they're undervalued. But the K-code, the Hipo, 65, 6, and 7, you know, obviously are more valuable and more sought after than the non-K-code Mustang. But why is that? Well, there's a really good reason. The reason is they're the tip of the spear, the absolute top of the food chain in terms of performance for that era Mustang. And they made fewer of them, of course. So that, let's call it desirability factor, that higher level performance, the uniqueness of the K-code, which is different from the carburetor to the rear end. They're not the same Mustang. They almost share no parts. There are a couple of parts before people get all up in air, but a lot of the critical parts from the carburetor to the rear end are different on a K-code Hipo than your regular Mustang, even your A-code 4-barrel Mustang. So they're unique cars. They're really special cars. And so that desirability factor combined with the rarity of that car, yeah, that drives value. A K-code Hipo is a super special car. I've got one right here. I've got a 67 K-code Hipo GT. Fun fact, every single 67 K-code Hipo, non-Shelby, is a GT. You had no option. If you got the Hipo, you got a GT. Ford made it that way. That wasn't the case in 65 and 66. You could certainly get a Hipo and not get the GT package. And of course, you could get a GT and not get the Hipo. But in 67, if you have a Hipo, you have a GT. That's the way they came. And that's what this car is. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this car and the special history behind this car and why this car is even special amongst 67 K-code Hipos in a second. But it's just a gorgeous, stunning machine. First, just take a look at it. Yeah, Wimbledon White. It's a gorgeous color. It looks particularly good on a 67 Mustang GT, black stripe, black interior, and Ford used this exact look to advertise this car when this new body came out in 67. You'll see it in a lot of the original pamphlets. So why am I holding this? This is the plate that was on this car up until 2024. That's right. The car lived in California from 1969 all the way to the very beginning of 2024 before it came here to Texas. And the owner is the right kind of guy to get a car like this from. He kept copious notes, receipts, pictures of the car, pictures from way back in the day before it was ever restored, wearing its original paint, survivor type car. It's all documented in photos all the way through. In photos, the restoration's documented as well. So the right kind of guy to get a car from, very detail oriented, kept records. You can go back through all these records, receipts, and find out exactly what was done to this car. Wonderful to get that. It's hard to get that on any Mustang, but this is not just any Mustang. This is a K-code Hipo Fastback 1967. So wonderful to have that. Now, what else it has going for it is above and beyond that is, you know, the living documentation. The guy's still alive. You can talk to the guy who has decades of firsthand real life experience with that car right there. So that's living documentation. Now, this car is very original, meaning that the Hipo components are all there. You don't have to look for anything. The car is Hipo correct. Cherry on top, it's a factory body. This car did not need patch panels and replacement metal. It's a high integrity car. My son and I call those cars the freaks. Super hard to find them. They almost don't exist, but this car is that kind of car. Final benefit is it went through a professional high quality restoration, so it's probably better than it was when it was new. At least cosmetically, it's finished out a little nicer than it would have come from Ford. So all of this adds up to making this 67 K-code Hipo super special within the group of the few that actually exist or that might be out there. It would be the dream machine for anybody to own. All of that documentation I mentioned, including these plates, will go forward with that car. So this will always be a treasure. As long as it's kept by the right preservation-minded owners, this car should go forward in the future and be one of the few and best examples of a 67 K-code Hipo in existence. Now, before we go on our test drive, let's fire it up. Let's hear that raspy mechanical lifter 289 Hipo famous engine, and then we'll go on the test drive. All right, let's listen to it. Okay, before we fire the engine up, this is a cold start, and I get a huge laugh out of people that come touch this, touch that, even touch the muffler to prove it's a cold start. The only way to prove a cold start is with this guy right here. So let me shoot this. Okay, that's at 90 degrees, which is the ambient temperature in this building right now. So this is a cold start, and let me start it. We'll give it a couple of pumps. That's not bad. Can you hear the raspy nature of this mechanical lifter engine? That is a K-code signature sound. Regular Mustangs do not have that raspy mechanical sound. Yeah, that's sweet. Look at it sitting in there. It's not moving. Okay, come around back. Let's listen to the exhaust. It's mechanical music right there. Let's go on that test drive. Okay, we're about to be out of the neighborhood. Can you hear the engine? It's not loud, but you can hear that wonderful solid lifter sound. Does really good back here in the twisties also. Very nice suspension. Okay, we're going to go highway speeds now. Okay, yeah, she will go. That Hipo is alive and well, and you know you're in the real deal in this car. Oh man, that sound. It loves the high revs. It loves it. Wow. I could just imagine ripping down the Pacific Coast Highway, just letting this thing snarl back in the late 60s, early 70s. What a rush. Front end just does that, and it just digs in and pulls. Runs nice, straight and true also. And as always, the Ford disc brakes of this era, they give you a lot of confidence. Wow, what a car. Okay, here's my rough railroad tracks that I hate. Okay, all of these Hipos are manual steering. So we're going to do a one lane or two lane U-turn up here. Very doable, but there's no power assist in this car. No air conditioning. It was all business. This was a Ford's out-of-the-box race car. Shelby took this exact car and did a few of his special tweaks and turned it into a real champion car that really back in the day would rival almost anything out there. You needed a whole lot more cubic inches if you were going to come against this little 289 Hipo. Okay, traffic's letting up where I can do this U-turn. Okay, rough railroad tracks and a train. Screw that. Third and fourth gear pulls are a lot of fun in this car. A lot of fun. know, you don't have to drive it fast to enjoy it. It's a great cruiser. But it is tempting. It is tempting to give it the accelerator. Well, that was fun. That's the end of the test drive video. Stay to the end. You're going to want to see the pictures of this car before it was restored. You're going to want to see some of the in-process restoration pictures. And please like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to our channel. Also, go to our website, qualityclassics.com. I think you'll be impressed with what my son and I are doing. We're known all over the country for our K-code Hipos. We get really, really nice rare cars just like this one. And if you have a Hipo that you want to sell, we might be your buyer, your premium buyer in fact, or we might be able to help you get the money that it's worth. People come to us from all over the world looking for the right K-code Hipo. I hope you enjoyed the test drive. Come back often. Adios.